Hey you guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Allie Wilkins. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you are coming back, I'm so happy that you're here again. Hi. So I did an Instagram story earlier that got a lot of attention, and so I wanted to just talk about it here because I think that this is important, and I want to seed something in the collective for young women and women in their early 30s that isn't talked about and I think needs to be normalized. And especially if you're a young woman, send this to a young woman. And that could be till you're 50, right? But I'm talking 20s, early 20s. The time period that we have when we are single and childless is precious. This has been as women, we're wait a few years, get your career going, and then get married and have kids, and don't wait too long because then you're not going to be able to have kids, and there's all this time pressure on stuff. But there's also this deep urge of you have to be married by a certain age or it's gonna people are gonna be oh, there's this weird vibe to it that men of course don't have. You could be a 60-year-old bachelor and you're seen very differently than a 60-year-old single woman who hasn't been married, right? And I think that we need to make the single woman cool again. I'm 31. I was in an 8-year relationship that we split up a few years ago. I've dated a few people, and I'm not dating anyone right now. And I'm just this is so great. I don't have kids. I'm dude, I can spend, and I also work for myself, and I have created, I've manifested a life and created it myself where I don't have to ask for permission. I don't have to ask anybody, can I do this? Can I do that? And I've sort of just always been this way, even when I was in partnership. But I think that this time period should be something that's really celebrated for a woman. Number one, you have the space to understand who you really are without a partner, because everybody knows, if you've been in a relationship, if you've seen anyone in a relationship, you are different with different people. Your personality and who you be sort of shifts, even if it's 0.1%, which is probably more, with each person that you're with. If you've dated multiple people, you have seen this. And being single gives you time, number one, to figure out who you are, but also time that you don't have any responsibilities in terms of being there for people, or other than your friends, of course, but that's way less intensive than children, right? And I was just sitting the other day, and I've actually been noticing this the last couple weeks, hardcore, and I'm just dude, I have so much space in my day. I just love this. I can choose how I want to spend every second of my time outside of when I'm with clients, but I would choose to be with them because I love my work. And I'm just whoa, this is really special. This is something that needs to be appreciated and honored. And I was watching today, I made this story on Instagram because I was watching someone else's Instagram story and all their kids were in, and I'm just whoa, their life is run by their kids. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying that because I know some of you watching this probably have children. I'm not saying that to offend you in any way, but if you have that space, because children just, take up a lot of time. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of energy going on where your energy is really directed towards something. It can't just be you time, and I'm all my time is me time. This is so great. And for some people, maybe that would make you uncomfortable, but I feel if you're watching this video, that's probably not you. So moral of the story is I really just wanted to put something out into the ethers that we should start celebrating a time as women where we get to just be by ourselves. And if anyone has an issue being by themselves, spend more time by yourself. I love being by myself, probably too much. And I have friends and stuff, and I enjoy community and all of that. But it's this is a sacred time in our lives, especially if you're 20s, 30s, and this could go for any age range, but it's sacred and precious. And I think that every woman should get to experience it, because even if you're a woman who's I really want to have children, and you know from a young age you really want to be a mom, and that's your biggest dream, when you go and have, and don't take offense if I say this and this is about you, when you have children at 21 or at 25, you've given a whole chunk of your early life that is actually like designated to figuring out who you are. You've sort of sacrificed that time period, which I'm sure you like love your kids and stuff and it's worth it. But there's also this time period that you will never get back where you don't have these like physical cords of attachment in the form of a human being in your life. And so just like if a young adult, 18 to 20, early 20s is watching this, like, don't rush to be in a relationship. Don't rush to get married. Don't rush to have children, because this time is sacred in your life. And later on, you won't have your youth again. You won't have this time where it's really like you're sculpting who you are. We can always shapeshift who we are. We can always grow deeper into ourselves. But I think in our 20s and 30s, it's just like really the hot spot for this. It's really like the molding time. Like I'm just seeing an image of, if you're making a pot, like once making like pottery on a clay spinner thing, once it's like hardened, you can only shape it so much, right? So it's sort of like that. Like this is like the prime time of our molding and shaping. And it's something that's so fun and celebrated and should not have negative stigma to it. And I joked on the Instagram story I did, like, when I go home, it's like my grandma, love you grandma, is like, so are you dating anybody? Like, when are you gonna get a life? And it's like when we receive comments like that, and she doesn't literally say that, but that's, just sort of the vibe with different generations. And when we receive comments like that or stuff like that, it's like, dude, I celebrate this. Like, this is so much fun. I enjoy being able to spend every second of my time in the way that I desire and the way that I choose, and because we can't get this time back. So if you're like me, you probably are somewhat like me if you're watching this. Like, I didn't grow up dreaming about being a mom. I grew up dreaming of traveling and writing books. And I'm pretty sure I probably don't want to have children. I feel like my clients are going to be I'm going to have like 1 million daughters who are my clients, and the people that I work with and the people that I'm supporting in their spiritual journey and in their awakening and all those things. But you never know. I'm open, but there are a lot of people who don't feel like, oh, it's my dream to have a child. And especially if that's you, just like really give yourself the gift of having this space and time. And it also, I'm talking about children a lot here because children take a lot of your time, more so than like a husband or partner, although that takes a lot of work as well. And just with the relationship piece, your person will come in the right time. We don't need to spend, what I also see, and I've been in this space myself too, is in between relationships, we're like, oh, well, I'm going to manifest the person. I'm going to, like, when's he going to come in? And we're like pulling tarot cards. Like, and it's just like, let's just stop all that. Why do we have to rush to the next person? Like, who am I? How am I shifting? Who am I becoming? And most importantly, who am I without the sculpting of anybody around me? And like, give yourself that sacred gift of time and space and presence with yourself. That is all. So I'd love to know your thoughts below. If you agree with this, if you disagree, respectfully comment, please. And yeah, if you're new to me, I feel like there might be some of you who are new to me. I'm Allie. I do a lot of different work in the molding space, if you will. I really help people like just toss all of the garbage belief systems and thoughts about yourself that aren't true, and like really help you become the truest version of yourself, taking off all of the programming and conditioning. And I do that in different ways. I have a book called Sacred Wealth that's right here. I do that through a few different things. I teach about ancient feminine wisdom. I teach about soul mission, finding what it is that you are really made to do, and something that you would do for work, which I don't think that work should be a word, that you would do for free, that you love, that like you just, even if you were a trillionaire, like you would do this for free because you love it so much and it adds so much to your life. That's what we get to be doing in our workspace. And I also teach about sacred wealth. Did I say that one? Ancient feminine wisdom, sacred wealth, soul mission. And I'm also an oracle. So I do a lot of deep energetic work through the Akashic records, but also just through my channel, and doing a lot of deep coding, past life healing, soul retrievals, like lots of different stuff. So if you want to learn more about me, you can go to my website, alliewilkins.com. You can go look at me on Instagram, allie.wilkins, ALY. And you can always email me, alliewilkinsabundance@gmail.com. And anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please leave a comment. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you want. This is sort of just a random thought. Normally it's more teaching style, but anyways, let me know if you enjoyed it. All right, bye guys.